Hey everyone, how are you? Ping here. Ping is back. We're a little early tonight. A little early. I have to be. I have a meeting a little later that I have to get to, and it means that if I went my normal time, I'd be pushing really close to being late. So I decided to go about half an hour early so that I can fit in that meeting. I should be back in time to do the late show, and yeah, we'll get it all done in one day, I promise. How is everyone? Danny Mitchell was here. Mr. Danny, Flying DJ. Mr. DJ is here too. Maria, good to have you. Apparently, Danny Mitchell is having some counseling or is it counseling? Let us know. Uh, TJ says, I have a BA in psychology. There you go. Who knew? Who knew? Audio is garbled? What is going on? What? What is going on? What is going on? Hold on, guys. Yeah, what is going on? Give me 2 minutes. I'm going to try to find out what the hell is going on. There's something, I can see it in the, like, look, when I'm not talking, the ring moves, look. See that? The ring's not. All right, hold on. I'm going to jump out and jump back in. Hold on. Hey, is that better at all? No, it's still doing it. Where is this coming from? I can't figure out, like, there's nothing on. We're having audio issues tonight, apparently. Sounds the same? What the F? Hold on, let me check the audio setting input line. Ah, okay. What the, why is it doing this? Okay, hold on, I'll fix it. I know what's going on. There we go. Oh, there we go. Sorry. There we go. Should be fine now. It was running through the webcam for some reason. I don't know why. Well, not the webcam, but the camera here. It says webcam in there, but it's actually a camera. Like it's a camera, but it has its own built-in mic, and I don't know why it likes running through that and not the giant microphone in front of me. All right. Yeah, now it's better. Thanks for telling me. I don't know why it did that. Someone must have been in there playing with the settings while I wasn't here. Because we do 2 shows a day and it never does that. Never ever does that. All right. Let me get set up. Wow, that lucky we didn't go on time. We would have been delayed. Hey, there we go. Hey guys, how are you? See, why would it not go through the giant microphone in front of my face? In front of my face is a giant microphone. Why would it want to go through the tiny, tiny, tiny microphone in the camera? Very odd. What is going on with my boom arm? We're having problems today, apparently. Guys, good to see you. Hey, how's it going? Danny Mitchell, DJ is here. Maria, Laurie is here as well. I hate mornings. Betty C, Moonlight View, Team Ping, thank you very much. Lux is here. Mamma mia. Yeah, we're early today. I have a meeting I have to get to at about 1, so I have to get out of here a little early. Angela's here. Laurie. Did I miss anyone? Probably not. Rory is mad you're preventing her from stardom? Maybe. They're not here right now. I don't know where they are. I think they're sleeping somewhere. I'm not sure where they are right now. I think they've had their breakfast and they've gone for a nap. They're probably in the windows or sleeping in their hammock, or they have these spots that they like to sleep in. So they're off today. But yesterday she was wanting her food and she's like, Dad, get off the air. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. She's like, come on, hurry up. Even though it was like 2 hours before we normally feed her. She was like, no, I want food early. She's funny like that. Gets very antsy when it's close to her dinner time. She's like, hey, give me some food. She's a very food-focused cat. The other one isn't. The orange one isn't. The orange one couldn't care if you fed him or not. He's just like, yeah, I'll take some food if you give it to me. He's very polite. All right, let's get into it. This is the weirdest story I've ever heard, and I'm guessing it probably does happen in rural areas more than we hear about. But it says a New Zealand couple killed by ram were good people, didn't deserve this, say police officer nephew. It says a couple who died at a rural Auckland address on Thursday afternoon can be named as Alfred Hansen and Gail Hansen. The pair, aged in the 80s, were found in a paddock by a relative who've gone to check on them on Thursday morning. It's believed they died after a ram attacked them. Apparently, so the way I read it is the male here, he had gone out to feed slash check on the ram, and then when he didn't return to the home, she's like, "Hey, what's going on? He hasn't been back in like an hour." So she went out there to check on him, and then the ram attacked her too and killed her. I want to know why a ram would attack like their owner. It's weird. Are they naturally fully aggressive like that? But apparently, they had to shoot the ram. When the police officers came to the scene, they made the decision that the ram was acting very aggressive, and they ended the ram's life. So they shot it, apparently. Says here, police said the ram was still in the paddock when they arrived, and it was shot after becoming aggressive, even towards them. The victim's nephew and spokesperson Dean Burrell said the deaths were linked to an animal. You'd hope so. Otherwise, we're looking for a person called Ram. But here's the property, and I wanted to show you the people. There's the husband and wife that were killed. They were in their 80s. They were, you know, some of our older people, not too old, just older. And I think it's a very tragic way to go. Died after being attacked by a ram. I don't think I've ever heard of anything similar. I've heard of people being killed by a horse. I've heard of people being killed by other farm animals like a cow or like a beef steer that's like gorged them or something. But I've never heard of a ram attacking people. And I'm going to show you a little bit of a video uh, from the New Zealand News.
Good evening. An elderly couple have been found dead in their West Auckland paddock, believed to have been killed by a ram.
Their son found them in Waitakere this morning after he hadn't heard from them. Laura Tupou reports.
A home of 8 years in rural Waitakere with sheep and cows rented by a couple, retired hobby farmers in their 80s, who today were found dead in their back paddock. Their bodies, covered by white and black sheets, lay metres apart, with a dead ram nearby. A family spokesperson says the woman's son found them this morning. They hadn't been able to get a hold of them for a couple of days, which was unusual.
They're good people. They're good people. They're over 80. They don't deserve this, but that is what it is, right?
Early this afternoon, the couple were put on stretchers, and families said their goodbyes before they were put in a hearse and driven away.
I can say that it's not suspicious. There's no one being saw in connection to this, right? It relates to an animal, and that's it. Simply that's it.
News Hub understands that animal was a ram. Animal behaviour expert Dr. Elsa Flint says people should be wary around rams, especially at this time of year.
Rams can be really dangerous, so especially in the breeding season, which is now, they're short day breeders, because it's when they come at speed charging you that the danger is really.
Her pet ram charged at this fence and broke it, demonstrating the true power behind them. Police say the circumstances around how this Waitakere couple died are still unexplained, but the family is in deep, deep shock at their sudden loss.
Laura joins us now. Kia ora, Laura, and the police have sent an update.
Yes, police arrived at the property just before 7:30 this morning. They have confirmed there was a ram alive in the paddock alongside those two bodies. There was also a third person who had received a minor injury. after being attacked by that same ram. Now, this morning, 2 neighbours told me they heard 2 loud bangs around that time. Police say when they entered that paddock, they too were confronted by the animal, and after a risk assessment, they shot the ram dead. Now, they are continuing to investigate exactly what happened that led to these 2 people to die in this paddock, and they'll be doing that on behalf of the coroner.
Laura, tēnā koe.
There you go, an update from New Zealand News Hub. So, yeah, they're like that animal behaviorologist or whatever she might be called, a doctor. She was saying that around this time of the year, when they're in their breeding season, they can be quite aggressive to anyone who enters their space. So, very sad that 2 people had to die. I'm guessing she may have entered the pen to save her husband, not realizing hey, I'm probably going to get attacked as well. And both of them ended up losing their lives. Very sad. Lux says, that's incredibly sad that the sweet senior couple were killed, but it annoys me that they shot the ram. I think the ram was maybe uncontrollable, and to recover the bodies of the elderly couple, they had no choice but to shoot the ram. Otherwise, because like they said, another person was minor injured after setting foot in that paddock as well. So, yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I know a lot of people are like, we're early. Yeah, we went a little early. I have a meeting I have to get to. Also, some other housekeeping. Next week, there will be a day, I think it's Friday. I will not be on at all. I will be away for the entire day. Mrs. Ping's going into hospital, and I have to be there to sign her in and out. So I cannot be here for a show on that day at all. Yeah, so I will not be here next week. I think it's Thursday, but it could be Friday. I have to double check. I only got the notification a couple of days ago, and we've been trying to sort things out. So, but yeah. So next week we'll be missing a show or an entire day. Sorry about that. It's not much I can do, and I have to be there to do that. It's first priority. So let's see. I wanted to show you this. Now, I wanted to know how many people knew about this particular unexplained death in Oklahoma. Now, I don't know a lot about it, but I was hoping that we could have a look at it together. His name is Noah Pesgrove, and I'm going to play this little video here. I was reading about it this morning, and it's very odd. He died after they had sort of an end of summer or an end of spring or something, end of school kind of rager, and it was 4 day long, and they were all partying and they were drinking, and he ended up dead on the side of a road in Jefferson County on the highway in September last year. And apparently they still don't know how he ended up there, how he really died. Did anyone kill him? They have no answers. So I'm going to play this video and we're going to have a look at it together.
We start tonight with a News 4 exclusive. News 4's Spencer Humphrey sat down with the family of Noah Pesgrove, the 19-year-old who was found dead on the side of a Jefferson County highway back on Labor Day weekend.
7 months later, they still have questions. Spencer.
Yeah, that's right, guys. Noah's family came out in full force tonight, at least 24 of them coming together to tell me about the lack of answers they feel they've gotten from the people tasked with investigating Noah's death, leaving them no more sure what happened to him than they were the day he was found dead.
7 months is a long time.
Every single day I think about him.
A long time for Noah Pesgrove's aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings, and grandparents to reflect on the 19-year-old's short life.
Not a time when you saw that boy did he not give you a hug, tell you how much he loved you.
He was goofy. He was hilarious.
Fearless.
Fearless.
I've taught him life and about just about having fun in life, and he's just always been there with us.
It's been a long time to wonder what led to Noah being found dead, lying on the side of Highway 81 in rural Jefferson County after a night partying with friends back on Labor Day.
At the end of the day, what we know is that he lost his life. He was found on the side of the highway, and it appears that he was dumped there. And someone knows what happened, and we want to know what happened.
When you don't have answers, you can't close your heart from that heartache.
They hoped investigators with the Oklahoma Highway Patrol would help fill in some of those gaps. But investigators told them something else.
That they're working on it and they just want to keep it quiet.
Noah's family says investigators won't share them the medical examiner's report, which could at least tell them what caused Noah's death.
So I'll stop it there. That is one of the big details. They will not share the medical examiner's report with the family, nor will they tell them a cause of death or a manner of death or anything from that report. Now, maybe they're slowly building a criminal investigation, which we've seen in the past where they won't share details because they don't want to spook people and they don't want people to either move or run away or get to different, they don't want to have to extradite people and bring them back and things like that. But it's very odd. How did he get so far away from that party? And why does nobody know anything? Drug overdose? Maybe. I think they were more drinking. I think from some of the videos I've seen from that night, they look like they were all drinking pretty heavily. They were doing the typical teenage thing and partaking in a lot of like party games and sort of, teenage crap you get up to, like riding on each other with a texter or, a Sharpie or whatever, and they were writing messages on each other's bodies and stuff, and, crap we did as kids as well. But there's something a little weird. How did he end up so far from home on a highway that wasn't fully familiar to him? It doesn't make any sense. And why don't the families have any answer to how did he end up there? Who may have put him there? How did he die? What caused his death? Was it alcohol? Was it drugs? Did someone hurt him? I mean, that must be very hard for the family to live with for many, many months and not have any understanding, even though he's long gone now. He's been gone for almost a year, and they still don't have any true, definitive answers to why their young relative died. I mean, that's very heartbreaking. And hopefully we can see more movement in the case coming up, but I'll let you listen to the last 58 seconds.
We're just not getting no answers.
I feel that we've been pretty much left in the dark for the past few months. They say that they're working on it, but nothing's happening.
Right now, they're just left to guess.
You can't move past. You just keep reliving in the anger.
And hope that someone, anyone who knows more will feel it in their heart to give this family answers before 7 months turns into 8.
What if it was their child? How would they feel if nobody was talking or saying anything? When you know that your child was with some of his best friends, but nobody knows anything, how would you feel?
Now, we reached out to the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, which is the agency leading the investigation into Noah's death, and I asked them if they could share the latest updates they have on the investigation. A spokesperson simply told me the investigation is ongoing.
The investigation is ongoing. It sounds like there is something going on in the background with the Highway Patrol, but they're keeping everything very, very quiet. Yeah, I wonder if they are building a homicide case against someone and they don't want it getting out. It's very odd that it's taking, a long... If it was an accidental death, say he died of alcohol poisoning, wouldn't they... When they've already just said that, hey, oh, he's a kid, he did too much, hey, his friends got very scared and they dropped him off on this road, something like that, and they charged the kids with not rendering assistance to a person in need or whatever, something like that. But to be this long, 8 months later, and not having any answer to anything, I think it's a little odd. Maybe they are trying to build a case that will actually bring charges or a grand jury, but it must be very difficult for the family. One of the things the family have said is he had a lot of his mates around that night. A lot of his friends were there, like good friends who have been with him since he was like a little guy, like, just a young boy. They all grew up together. They've all been mates for a long time. They were going to be mates into their, adulthood and beyond. The family wants them to come forward and tell what they know. They believe that people in that group still haven't come out to say what they know to either police or the family, and they want them to come forward. They said they know it is very scary to come forward and admit to certain activities, but it's the right thing to do, and that better that you come forward now and do it voluntarily than to have to get a knock on the door at some point and that maybe you get arrested or forcibly interviewed under caution or something like that. I know, I find that very interesting why they won't. It may be because the family is extremely vocal. They have been in the media, they've been on Facebook, they've been here and there, they've been pressing constantly for answers. So I'm not sure why the police won't tell them. They do have them, but then they won't share it with the family. Apparently, they won't share anything from the medical examiner report to the family. So a little odd. The only thing I can think of is that they are building something, a case against someone or people. Very odd. Says here, at the end of the day, what we know is that he lost his life. He was found on the side of the highway, and it appears that he was dumped there. Someone knows what happened, and we want to know what happened. You don't have the answers. You can't close your heart from that heartache, she said. They hope the investigators with the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, the agency leading the investigation into Noah's death, would help fill in some of those gaps. But instead, they say the OHP investigators told them something else, that they're working on it and they just want to keep it quiet. That to me sounds like they have something, they have a working hypothesis and that they are trying to prove it and they don't want to ruin it by telling a lot of people. So maybe they do have something that they are working on, but I can get how this is damaging to the family because they're in limbo. They're just sitting there going, well, we're here. We have a dead young person in the family. We don't have any answers to be able to move on, and we're just sitting here like in a frozen state, just can't do anything. It must be very difficult for them. Must be extremely difficult. Let me see if I can find anything else about the night he was found. Hold on. Let me go back. Let's go back. 27th of November of last year. Let's have a look. So this was a while ago and a very similar article.
But I thought I had more time. I know that he's okay and that we will be okay. But I think it would make it easier if we knew why.
A family forever left with a missing piece after 19-year-old Noah Pressgrove's death back in September. Nearly 3 months later, they say they're no closer to finding the truth.
Like we're still in the same position, still kind of stagnant in a sense, and we're still wanting answers. other than that, that's kind of where we're at.
Pressgrove was found dead on the side of Highway 81 on September 4th, and the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation declared his death suspicious the next day. The organization is assisting Oklahoma Highway Patrol in that investigation, who says they're not releasing any details to maintain the quote integrity of the investigation. The teen's family says they just want answers.
Even if it was an accident, like, it doesn't matter. Come clean. It hurts not to know. It'll hurt knowing, but it hurts worse not to know. And wondering and just thinking every night what happened.
For 7 News, I'm Destiny Fuller.
Yeah, my wife's baby first.
Charles Miller says yesterday.
There you go. That was only a couple of months after he passed away. And Danny Mitchell says pings at 777. We should be at 779, so we lost a couple people. They must not like the channel. Or they got forcibly unsubscribed again. We keep getting people that keep getting forcibly unsubscribed, like they don't do it on their own, and they just turn up and they're like, hey, I'm not subscribed anymore. What happened? No idea what's causing it. It's not me. I'm not unsubscribing anyone. It's something to do with YouTube, unfortunately. And I don't know. I don't even watch it anymore. It annoys me too much. When we get to 1,000, then I'll look at it again. Angela Connolly said it happened to me. Yeah, it's happened to a bunch of people. They all come in the chat and they're like, hey, I'm not subscribed anymore. What happened? And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't touch anything. I've also had problems with comments. I write every day when people comment. I get an email when people comment, and then I click on it and then I reply, and then I come back the next day and my comment's gone. And then I get people angry at me saying, people are not, like, I'm not replying to people. And I'm like, I reply to every person that leaves a comment on the videos. Every single person. And I don't know what's going on with YouTube. Edge, it hasn't changed. It's just for today. I've got a meeting that I have to get to at 1. So just for today, we went a little tiny bit earlier. But it's just for today. But there will be a late show at the normal time, but today we just went half an hour earlier. I didn't know until this morning that I had to be there so early. I thought I had a bit more time, but yeah, so I had to move the time frame of today's show so we could get it done. Otherwise, I'd be really pushing it, trying to get out of here and get to the location in time. Hold on a second. All right, let's see if we can find anything else about Noah. Anything else about this young man, Mr. 19-year-old Noah Pesgrove? Let's see if we can find the original article. There is one here, K4, 11th of September, 2023. Says the community of... Oh, here we go. This is the original news coverage from when they... OSBI, we know the OSBI. They did Gillian Kelly and Veronica Butler. We know the OSBI worked with them, not worked with them, but dealt with a case with the OSBI just recently, and they did a great job with Gillian Kelly and Veronica Butler. They turned that around in like 2 weeks. So if they're waiting months and months for something to do with this particular kid, I would suggest there's something going on. There's something they're trying to get done. They're waiting for more information. I don't know, but you can see the type of effort they put in for those 2 missing women. You'd hope that this young man, Noah, is getting the same type of treatment from the OSBI, and I'm sure he would be. So there's something they're not telling the public. Has to be. And as we saw in the Gillian Kelly and Veronica Butler case, they don't tell you very much. They tell you just oh, it's suspicious. Oh, yeah, we found something that told us it might be foul play. And then as soon as they arrested people, we got everything. And it was like the backstory was amazing. And you couldn't believe the amount of detail. Right, the things we learned about the planning and this, the burner phones and this and that. So they really are thorough people, the OSBI. They've probably got their own, you know, bad things that they've done too. Not saying they're perfect, but um, I saw the work they did on that Gillian Kelly and Veronica Butler investigation, and they did a pretty good job. So let's listen. I think this is when they found him. This is when they said it was a suspicious death. All right.
About what led to the death of an Oklahoma teen.
At first, they thought it was a hit and run because his body was found on the side of a 2-lane highway. But now they're not so sure.
News 4's Adria Goins went to Comanche today, searching for answers.
Friends and family gather here at the Comanche High School gym for the funeral of Noah Pressgrove, a popular recent high school graduate. But as they say goodbye, they're no closer to knowing what happened to him. The parking lot outside the Comanche High School gym, packed. A community dressed in red shirts and high school football jerseys, lining up to say goodbye to a lifelong member of the community.
He was a great kid and an awesome athlete.
19-year-old Noah Pressgrove, a recent high school graduate, a star athlete for Comanche High School, both on the football field and wrestling mat.
He was on his way to be an awesome man. He was really kind and would help anyone.
Now unexpectedly gone after his body was discovered along a highway last week. Pressgrove was found here off Highway 81 in Jefferson County, north of the small town of Terrell, 30 minutes from his hometown of Comanche. Investigators initially thought the case was a hit and run, but the OSBI is now assisting in Pressgrove's death, which is now considered suspicious.
I don't have any clue what's going on, really, to be honest with you.
Leaving friends and family to wonder what happened on that highway. In Comanche, Adria Goins, Oklahoma's News 4.
All right, Adria, we know you'll follow us. Such a tragic.
So that's when it was announced that it was a suspicious death. And interesting that they originally thought it was a hit and run, I guess, because of the location that they found him, like along a highway. They're like, hey, why is there a kid on a highway? So it says 19-year-old Noah Pressgrove was found lying dead wearing nothing but shoes along a rural stretch of US 81 in Jefferson County on Labor Day. Nothing but shoes on. So he was butt naked. Butt naked. He had no clothes, no underwear, I guess. That is, maybe they're doing like a nudie run, or, teenage boys jogging in the nude after a bunch of drinks or something. I don't know. Why would they remove all his clothing? A little strange. Hold on. Let's have a look at this one. Let's see if there's any information. The OSBI confirmed to K4 that it's helping with the investigation into the suspicious death of Noah Pressgrove. The parking lot outside the Comanche, yep. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can find anything on Twitter. Sometimes you can find things that are not in articles. So, oh, isn't that sweet? They said there was the first annual Noah Pressgrove takedown tournament in his honor. Have a look at this. They did like a little wrestling competition in his name. Look, the first annual Noah Pressgrove takedown tournament. Yeah. Isn't that cute? They did looks like open ages, boys and little girls or little ladies, and various ages. Looks like some as young as like maybe like 7 or a little younger, even younger. Look at this little tyke. Maybe that kid's like 4. And a bunch of older people at the back here, teenagers who are, 15, 14, 16. So it goes all the way from the little ones to the big ones. It's really nice that they did that for him. Hopefully they continue that every year. And then it'll just be a thing. They get to like their 23rd edition and they'll still be doing it for him. Let's see, anything else about it? Let me see. Family of teams friend. All right. Seems to be a lot of innuendo and rumor within the town. One person typing here, how come we don't have an arrest yet in the Noah Pesgrove case? This is unbelievable with all the rumors and facts. Someone needs to grill these kids a little more to get answers. And this person says, let me interrogate them. No, buddy, that's okay. We don't do that. No vigilantism. But if you search his name on Twitter, you don't get much. You get very little. About 10 tweets. That's about it. And a couple of news articles. Other than that, that's about it. Okay. One more source. I'm going to see if we get more information. Read it for you. This is interesting. Hold on. I saw his name referenced in something interesting. Hold on. Let me see if I can grab it. I can't find it, but one of his family members were posting on Reddit in a breakup thread about something about being one of Noah's relatives and that Noah's death had caused a bunch of issues. But I can't find it. It's like a thread of like 500 people. It says, I can just read the little bit here. It says, this past September 2023, my stepson, her boy, Noah Pesgrove, and then something about, they had an issue in their relationship after he died. Interesting. Maybe there were some, it happens a lot when you have a child die. Often the parents don't cope very well, and breakups are quite common between couples. Tina, did they do a toxicology report and an essay exam? Don't know about the essay exam, but toxicology, I'm going to guess, is almost a certain. Hey, Video Reel, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you, mate. Was this on Indian Reservation? I don't think so. Let me have a look. Let me have a look. I think we saw the location. It was like US Highway 81. US Highway 81 and E2130. US 81 E2130 Oklahoma. No, it's not going to show it to me. It's not going to show it to me, but I don't think so, but I can't confirm that, unfortunately. Oh, hold on. It's acting really funny. It's like when I zoom around, I can't see the marker, and then all of a sudden it pops up. Okay. Maybe do this a different way. US 81. Is that what we said? US E2130 road. Yep. No, it's really not. So this is 81. I can show you that. This is 81. It was 2130. Road 2130. I don't know if we can find it though. So it's probably one of these little tiny roads, isn't it? 81. Hold on. I think it's probably up here somewhere. There's 1610. We want 21 something. 2130. We might be in the completely wrong direction. Yeah, I think we are. Yeah, sorry. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it off the top of my head. Well, that's 81. It's somewhere around here. I don't know if this is how much of this is reservation land or not. Looks like it's not going to give me the crossroad that I want. Sorry, people. I'll look it up. Maybe from the late show I can find a better map detail. I just can't do it and waste everyone's time doing 10 minutes of it here. Let's see what you guys have to say. Nana Lana says, I feel like several people know what happened to him. 100%. There's people that know. That is not like even a guess. That is he didn't get there by himself. He didn't get so many miles away from the party on his own. Hey Laura T, how are you? By the way, Video Reel, it really is good to see you drop by the chat. Thank you. Good to see you again. All right. We'll have to move on. I'll do some more research while I'm away between this show and the late show, and then I'll get back to you on that. So there's some more information about the people who were found in the shipping container. Do you guys remember I told you about 2 people that were found in a shipping container? Well, apparently it's a woman named Kelly Williams, 37, and a 55-year-old man were found at the Goolgong property, 290 kilometers north of Sydney, about 11 a.m. on April 13. They're now saying that. So here's a photo of her. They're saying that she died inside the shipping container. Police confirm their deaths were not suspicious, but now I found something here. Police sources told the Daily Telegraph they were investigating whether the deaths were caused by a small butane heater found inside the container. Now, they're thinking that maybe they died from gas asphyxiation or accidental asphyxiation due to being overcome by butane gas or maybe whatever it burns off as. I mean, we've told people so many times you can't run these type of heaters in enclosed spaces with no ventilation because you end up getting poisoned, especially if you're sleeping. It's I really hope, well, I guess it doesn't matter, they're now not here, but it would be awful if that is what ended up happening to this woman and her partner. Hold on, found at the Goolgong property. There was a better update. I'm just going to find it here. So this was the deceased couple. They haven't named the 55-year-old man for some reason, but that's him there, and that's her there, Kelly Williams, September 27th. Apparently, they had only just moved back to the area about a week before their deaths, and a neighbor had called the police because of the smells emanating from the shipping container. They said both the deceased were known to have a history of drug use, and police said there were no suspicious circumstances, but they are saying They don't believe at this point in time that it was drug use, but possibly because of a butane heater. But they are doing a post-mortem on both of them to try figure it out. And yeah, there's your update about the two that were found in the shipping container. Sean said that's why tents aren't 100% waterproof, to get air in. Yeah, you need to have some air circulation. Angela says carbon monoxide. Yes, monoxide poisoning. Laura T, how are you? Good to see you, my friend. Hey, Miley May. I love that photo of your dog. It looks surprised or like sort of questioning you. It's like, what did you just say? That's what it looks like. Yeah, very sad. Yeah, carbon monoxide. All I can say is if you are into that lifestyle where you need to use these type of products, think of getting a carbon monoxide alarm. They don't cost very much, and it may save your life because when levels start rising, it'll go off, and then it's to tell you, hey, person, open it up, get some air in, and turn the thing off. Like, save your own life. So get a carbon monoxide detector. They're not that pricey anymore. They used to be, but they're not anymore. They used to be like hundreds of dollars, but they've come down a lot in the last few years. Hey, Shad Hunter, how are you? Moonlight View says so young. Well, she is. He's sort of. He's 55. You can call that young if you want to. Yeah. Horrible. Don't like seeing people dead in these type of situations. Hold on. Never found out about that one. Do you remember we read about one in Asia where they found like body parts in a plastic recycling container? Actually, let's look that up. Container. What was it? Body parts. Shipping container. Asia. No, it was recycled. Hmm. No, that was recycle. Can't find that one that we looked at like about a year ago or 9 months ago. There was body parts. I think it was legs found in legs. I can't find it off the top of my head, but we did read about one last year where they found randomly in a shipping container in Asia. It was in like a plastic recycling that had been sent to Asia to be processed. And when they unwrapped it, they found human legs in there. Miley May, thank you, Ping. His name is Bob. I like it. Hey, Bob. Bob, you're a good boy. You've been good to mum. But such a beautiful boy. Has to have insulin twice a day, so patiently takes his shots. Aw, poor baby. She's going into hospital next week, so she's not doing great, but she's doing okay. She'll get there. We have the technology. We will fix her. We'll fix her. It's okay. All right. Let's get to another story. Let's see what I have put away for you guys. Chilling note. Oh, yes. This is a good one. Chilling note discovered after separated Perth couple found dead. Now, please. I keep playing that video. They found these couple, right? They found the bodies of Mark and Leslie Stillman were found inside a Perth home on Sunday. They found a note written by the man, and it said, "Won't get justice, will die with her." What? And it says here, a disturbing handwritten note which could provide crucial evidence has come to light after a man and woman were found dead in a suspected murder S-word. Police discovered the bodies of a separated couple, Mark, 64, and his wife, Leslie, 67, at a home on Golf Links Drive in Carramar, 30 kilometres from Perth CBD at about 10:40 a.m. on Sunday. Police were called to conduct a welfare check at the time and have since confirmed there was no third-party involvement in the pair's death. It has now been revealed a family member had discovered a note which is believed to have been written and left by Mr. Stillman before his death. The note reportedly said words to the effect of, "Won't get justice, will die with her." It's not known if the note contained any other information. Brutal. I mean, what an awful thing to say after possibly or definitely killing your wife. What do you mean you won't get justice? For what? For killing your wife? No, you probably won't get justice. Or like the victim's family will, but you will not. That is an awful thing to write, even in death. Won't get justice, will die with her. I've never heard of something so egotistical, even in a murder S-word. Says homicide squad detectives have determined there is no third-party involvement in the tragic accident, and WA police will prepare a report for the coroner. Police earlier assured the community there are no concerns for the general public safety. One of the bodies was reportedly discovered inside the garage. According to the West Australian, the pair, who had 4 children and were originally from the UK, were married but had separated several years ago, though they were both still living in the same home. It's believed Mr. Stillman's daughter had phoned police following concerns for his welfare. A neighbour told the publication his wife had spoken with Miss Stillman the day before. She was found dead. It says here, she was bouncy, she was going off to Pilates with her friends, and that's the last we saw of them. Miss Stillman was a volunteer with Guide Dogs WA and aged care provider Amana Living. She had recently returned from a holiday in Asia, having travelled to Cambodia and Thailand in March. So she just got home. Just got home from a once-in-a-lifetime type holiday. Let me see here. Homicide detectives investigate domestic violence.
I say this to
is found in the home, so they are investigating whether it was a domestic violence incident, and they're not looking for any third parties. Never heard of such an egotistical note. Hey, Shad. Chad says, I would love to chat Tornado Watch. We can do Tornado Watch in a bit, Shad, for sure. Is there a Tornado Watch out tonight? Let's see. Well, who's the Tornado Watch for? Watches. Let's have a look. No tornado watches right now. Only thunderstorm watch. Severe thunderstorm. Texas, Missouri, Oklahoma. You're going to have to help me with these middle ones here. Because I don't know. Whatever these ones are here. Might be Kentucky. Kentucky and I don't know. Let's see. What does it say? Sorry, I know it's a white screen. I'm sorry. Illinois, Indiana, Western Kentucky, Missouri. So that looks like that's the, yeah, Southern Illinois, Southwest Indiana, Western Kentucky, Southeast Missouri. Effective this Thursday night and Friday morning from 6:35 p.m. until 2 a.m. Central Daylight Time. All right. There you go. I don't see a tornado watch right now. Just a severe thunderstorm. Sorry about that. I know it was white. Hey, Penguin. Good to see you. Yeah, Shad, keep safe wherever you are. If you do, they may be a tornado watch later today. I don't see one. They're all severe thunderstorm right now. What's the convective outlook? Convective outlook. Let's have a look. Tornado. Tornado risk is only a 5% risk today. If I was a storm chaser, this would be a very bad day. Like, we probably wouldn't go on this day at 5%, although some chasers will, because they just want to see any and every thunderstorm. Not to mean there isn't a chance of a tornado. They often happen on a 5% day, but it looks like you got a bigger hail threat. You got a much larger hail threat here. Hail threat stretches. There's even a hatched area in southern Texas. So it stretches all the way from southern Texas all the way up into Illinois. Yeah, you got a much bigger hail threat than you do a tornado threat today. Although the tornado threat is pushing north into the more northern states near the Great Lakes up here, rather than south here. So it's more up here. You got your 5%, but 5% is Evansville, Indiana, Owensboro, Kentucky, Cape Girardeau, Missouri, Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and Henderson, Kentucky. There you go. Here's your weather update with Ping. Keep safe out there. Emily Narb says, listening and doing the dishes. Thank you. I appreciate that, Emily Narb. I do. All right. No more weather. We can talk weather when we do the late show. We can talk more weather then. Let me see if I've got anything else for you. Fuck. Hey guys, give me a second. Hold on. Sorry, I'll be... Sean says, what did early pioneers think of tornadoes when they arrived? No idea. No idea what they thought. Who knows? Maybe they thought they were like magic. I don't know. All right. Oh no, that's not the right one. Let's see what we have. A carjacking that led to murder? All right, hold on. Let me get this set up.
Chasing the car, hit the car, got out of his car with a hood over his face and had a machine gun, it looked like.
Absolutely terrifying. Tonight, we're hearing the 911 call from a witness who saw a Homestead woman being carjacked and kidnapped in Central Florida. That terrifying encounter was caught on camera.
A body believed to be hers turned up several counties away, and the search is growing for the people responsible.
NBC6's Nico Clemens is live in Homestead tonight with the latest developments. Nico, what do we know?
You too. This is just a heartbreaking and tragic ending to the story, but the investigation's far from over. Right, detectives are still searching for this green Acura, and they are also trying to find the people they believe are responsible. We are outside the family's home again. They're not here. They're not speaking. Only heard from a few family friends who have stopped by. Had nothing but great things to say about this woman. But that video, it is so tough to watch.
An urgent call for help.
You need to do something now because I don't know what's going on.
From someone who witnessed this Thursday. Detectives in Seminole County say a man got out the green car with a gun, walked up to the white Dodge and pointed it at the driver, Catherine Aguas Vivas. They say the man then gets in the passenger seat and the 31-year-old starts driving, while another man in the green car follows them. The sheriff says they believe they found the white Dodge on fire about 2 hours later and Aguas Vivas' body inside, but they still have to confirm it's her through DNA. He says they also found a dozen shell casings.
There's no clear
indicator why somebody would do this? Why would they target them?
Investigators say moments before the carjacking, Aguas Vivas called her husband and told him someone was following her and had rammed the car. The witness called 911 soon after.
He was chasing the car, hit the car, got out of his car with a hood over his face and had a machine gun, it looked like.
At Aguas Vivas' home, her neighbors were stunned to learn the news.
It's a shame.
Miguel Rivera says he only heard good things about her.
Era una buena muchacha, era una buena muchacha. Sí. Y el esposo y la familia.
Detectives don't have any reports that this woman or her husband called 911, but they say they have talked with him. They've talked with other family members, and we will stay on top of this story. In Homestead, Nico Clemens, NBC6 News.
Brutal. Brutal. Never heard of anything like that. Let me get you some details. Hold on. Let me close a couple of links. We're a little deep in links right now. Hold on. Let me close some of this. All right. Says car found, deputy arrested amid investigation into Homestead woman's fatal carjacking. It says the vehicle used in the fatal armed carjacking and abduction of a Homestead woman in Central Florida has been located and is likely linked to another murder, while a deputy has been arrested in connection with the investigation into the shocking crime. The bizarre developments in the killing of 31-year-old Catherine Guerrero de August-Viva were revealed by Seminole County Sheriff Dennis Lemma at a news conference Monday. They said, "This is right out of a television show, right?" He told reporters. "There's a lot of bizarre circumstances here. Shocking video from a witness shows the armed abduction of her in broad daylight on Thursday at a Winter Springs intersection." It says Lemma said she had left Homestead earlier in the day and was driving a white Dodge Durango with a green Acura when a green Acura rammed into her back bumper. She called her husband and told him someone was following her and had rammed her, and the husband told her not to stop, but neither of them called 911. That's odd, right? The witness video showed August Vivas stop at a red light at the intersection as a man in a mask got out of the Acura and approached the Dodge with a gun drawn. He pointed the gun at her and then got back into the Dodge. They said, "You need to do something now because I don't know what's going on," the witness told authorities in a 911 call from the incident. He was chasing the car. He hit the car, got out of the car with a hood over his face, and had a machine gun, it looked like. Authorities believe the gunman forced her to continue driving while holding her at gunpoint. Officials said the Dodge continued to drive into Osceola County, where they believe it ended up at a new construction area. Less than 2 hours after the carjacking, authorities received a call of a vehicle on fire in the construction area, and authorities arrived and found the burning vehicle, believed to be the Durango with a body inside. Authorities believe the body is August Vivas, although they're waiting official confirmation from DNA or dental records. Investigators also found a dozen shell casings at the scene. The casings are 10mm rounds consistent with the gun used in the carjacking. What? After a series of sales, the car has been on the streets unregistered since February, and any license plate it would have had would have been stolen, according to the sheriff. According to Lemma, the Acura had been towed from an apartment complex in Orange County back on March 19. The tow truck driver involved was found murdered in a hail of bullets in Orange County on April 10th, the day before the abduction of August Vivas, according to Lemma. A green vehicle matching the description of the Acura was at the scene, and of the 100 rounds fired at the scene, at least one was a 10mm, which Lemma said was unique and uncommon. Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of a 10mm round, right? 10mm? That's a weird sizing. Lemma said, Lemma was asked whether the deaths of the tow truck driver and August Vivas were connected. They said absolutely think they're connected, but we'll have to have the physical evidence that absolutely proves that. So it sounds like they're trying to connect the two events between the truck driver or the tow truck driver who was killed in a hail of bullets and this woman in the carjacking. There's some sort of connection here. What a weird case. Let's listen to this. Is this the same one we just watched? Hold on.
He was chasing the car, hit the car, got out of his car with a hood over his face and had a machine gun, it looked like.
Absolutely terrifying. Tonight, we're hearing the 911 call from a witness who saw a Homestead woman being carjacked.
Responsible.
In Acura.
That's the same one we watched before. I don't want to replay it. What on earth? A 10mm round. Hold on. What does that look like? 10mm round. Hold on. Okay. So a 10mm auto. It's for a semi-automatic pistol. Quite a large gun. Could be for a, bigger gun too. Often used in Colt, Delta Elites. Take a 10mm. Weird. It could also fit into that long gun that you see in the 10mm. Hold on, 10mm. Wow, apparently a 10mm round is even more impactful than a 45. A 45 is 800 to 1,000 feet per second muzzle velocity, and a 10mm round has velocities between 1,100 and 1,400 feet per second. That is much higher than a 45 caliber. This is very interesting. I've never heard of a 10mm before. I think we've all heard of the normal ones. So here's a 45, there's a 10, there's a 40, a 9mm, and a 380. So there you can see the different types of bullets. This is the type that he had in that like machine gun looking thing. Yeah, 100 bullets at the tow truck driver. It's a lot. Maybe they thought she saw something with the original murder. You could be right about that. Maybe she reported something. Because you don't just ram a car like that. They didn't even steal it. They just burnt it and killed her. That's very, very strange. And it's odd how that car's been towed and then unregistered and moved around the city. And each time someone tries to touch it, they end up dead. It's a very strange case. Hold on. Let's see if we can find anything else about August Vivas. Let me see, August Vivas. There's that screen capture with him holding that gun at her car. There's that green car in the background there, his car. She's in the front one. It says a Florida woman who was found dead in her torch car following a brazen carjacking in broad daylight called her husband to say she was being followed by another vehicle that was ramming her car from behind. Catherine, 31, was made the frantic call about the green Acura following her on April 11 as she drove on the highway outside of Orlando, Seminole County. Her husband, Miguel, told her not to stop and just to keep driving, but he never called 911. That's very odd. Moments later, in a horrific video captured by another driver, August Vivas was stopped at a red light at a busy intersection in Winter Springs when a man in a mask got out of the Acura and approached the driver's side with a gun drawn. August Vivas' car was later found abandoned and burned. A body believed to be hers was inside. Here's her photo. Why though? It wasn't a carjacking when they didn't take the car. They just took the car and burnt it and killed her. Something odd. It's not really a carjacking. It says over the weekend, the green Acura had been following her and was located and linked to another murder, the fatal shooting of a tow truck driver that happened on April 10th, just a day before the carjacking. The bizarre development spiraled further when a deputy from another sheriff's office was arrested for disclosing information about August Vivas' killing to her husband. What? Why would you have to arrest someone? Hold on. Why would you arrest another deputy for telling her husband anything unless they think he's involved? Um,
Thank you so much for coming out for an update on the murder investigation involving Catherine Aguas Vivas that happened on April 11th, which has been widely covered. Two large updates that I'll provide today, and at the end, I'll open myself for any questions. As I've said in the early briefings of this, is this ongoing investigation, and I think that timely delivery, as much information as we can, is incredibly important. The first is we're no longer looking for a green 2002 Acura. We've located that vehicle. The circumstances leading up to that are one that I'll describe out now, that the car was legitimately owned by a family in Winter Springs. They sold that to a legitimate car dealership back in December. Sold the car or traded the car in. As car dealerships typically do, they traded off to an auto auction. They went to an auto auction and then ultimately was purchased by a buy here, pay here owner operator who sold it from their lot in Seminole County. They sold it. It was still titled to the original owners in Winter Springs. It had not had enough time to work out the transfer of title. And the people who purchased the car never came back to finish the additional paperwork. They still owed the person money. So the car has been out on the streets probably since February, unregistered, undocumented with a license plate. Any license plate that it had on at any given time was just temporarily put on.
How did it not get picked up since February without rego, insurance, documentation? That's a long time to be just driving around the city and a cop didn't auto scan the license plate and pick it up and say, hey, it's an undocumented driver or unregoed. Odd.
Largely from a stolen tag. What's unique about a 2002 green Acura in the state of Florida, there were only 3 in the state of Florida. 2 had been salvaged and only 1 existed in the state. When we look at records, the first time authorities came in contact with this was when it was towed on March 19th from an Orlando apartment complex. The car was backed in, parked illegally, probably had no tag on it at the time, and it was towed from an Orange County apartment complex on March 19th. The tow truck driver of that particular tow of this vehicle was a murder victim in Orange County that happened 1 day before our kidnapping murder. April 10th, a tow truck driver was murdered in Orange County. At that scene, a green vehicle matching the description of this green vehicle was located, and there was more than 100 rounds fired at that location. One of the rounds found at the scene were 10mm rounds, which is, again, an incredibly unique and uncommon round for us to see out on the streets. As you can imagine, the Orange County Sheriff's Office, this is their case. They've been working this thing aggressively, and they have been partnering with our organization on the murder investigation that we're looking into with Catherine to connect the dots between the 2 locations. We were able to locate this vehicle just recently on Saturday, April 13th, 1 day after we had the news conference announcing that we were investigating a murder. It once again was parked and abandoned in an Orange County apartment complex and was towed through a contractual tow service. When a tow service tows a vehicle that is illegally parked in an apartment complex, they have a responsibility to contact either the tag or through VIN to report into a system. That is how the VIN number was identified. Again, the VIN number was unique because there was only 1 2002 green Acura left in the state of Florida.
It's very interesting that there's only one left, just one, in the entire state of Florida. You couldn't have picked a worse car to do a bunch of crimes in. It doesn't blend in at all. It sticks out like a sore thumb on the database. Just one left. But that car seems to have some very funny history. very interesting and bizarre history with who owned it, who took it, who sold it, who tried to tow truck it. It's a little odd.
When the VIN number ran, we immediately knew it was our car. That vehicle then was collected, transferred to the Orange County Sheriff's Office to be evaluated for evidence with the Orange County team and the Seminole County team. So no longer looking for the car. We still are looking for information about people who are occupants in the car, whether at the Orange County case or our case. That part of the process is ongoing. But again, we want to thank everyone's help who have called in, reached out the crime line, done whatever, and especially the media for getting that information out. Second part that I want to brief up on is an Orange County deputy was arrested by the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. Francisco Estrella was arrested last night by our agency. Now, when this initial report of the kidnapping was made, our detectives saw, as the public saw, the phone number on the rear window of that vehicle. When we called that phone number in the early stages of the investigation, the decedent's husband picked up the phone, came back to him. We identified ourselves. We had one of our detectives say who we were, what we were looking at, and that's how we disclosed that we were working a kidnapping case. Both the decedent's wife, Miguel, and her brother, Louis, who live in Homestead, provided whatever information they could on the phone and then agreed to travel up here to Seminole County. As they were traveling up here to Seminole County, Miguel and Louis reached out to a mutual friend, a childhood friend, as it's described, who happens to be the Orange County deputy's wife.
That's where the person was arrested. They reached out through a childhood contact who is the deputy's wife, and they got information through that means. That's a breach of protocol because they didn't go through the probably office that's dealing with it. They probably accessed documents on the computer that are not relevant to his job description or his own investigations. That's also a breach of protocol for police officers. You cannot do that because you're not assigned to the case. That's really, really bad. And it's sort of like the same thing, like when say Kate Middleton is in hospital, and then the nurses that work there, they access the computer and they look at her records and they tell the son what's wrong with her or whatever. Sort of very similar. It's a really wrong thing to do. Yeah, it's a huge breach.
The wife of the Orange County deputy reached out and said, "I've been contacted by this person who's identified by name as a detective with the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. Can you find out whatever information you can about this particular person?" The deputy then picks up the phone, calls our detective, and gives a false name and identifies himself as a detective with the Orange County Sheriff's Office, wanting to get information about this case. Later in that conversation, he actually says he's a deputy sheriff, but for the entire time, he's giving a fake name as he's communicating with our folks. And our detectives obviously thought that communication was strange, especially.
Very, very suspicious. Why would you do that? You're risking your entire career. Like, that is very odd. And you even outed yourself a couple of times due to memory reflex. So when you're working in something like this and you're always giving your title to people, sometimes it just comes out you know what I mean? Like doctors, they're always like, "Oh, I'm Dr. Mitchell, I'm Dr. Mitchell, I'm Dr. Mitchell." This guy eventually went, "Oh, I'm deputy, sheriff, blah, blah." And he's like, "Oh, crap, I didn't mean to say that." You're wondering if the ram did get killed, if that's what you're wondering. It was euthanized. It was euthanized.
The timeliness of it just hours after we have identified that we're working a homicide case here. In addition to that, we knew that the Orange County deputy and wife accessed illegally the Florida David system and pulled up the unique characteristics, home address, photographs, signatures of our primary detective working the case, and all of the communication between the Orange County deputy and our detective working the case was then recorded, all communicated back to the decedent's husband, who was on his way here. When he was here, I had mentioned in the briefing on Friday that he has been cooperative. He has provided, to the extent that he feels comfortable with, what was going on Friday. I think when I laid out those circumstances, I said that her vehicle was being rammed by the vehicle behind her. They didn't call 911. He didn't call 911. And then her phone looked like it was immediately turned off after that. So he's on his way up here. He is contacting whoever he can, and he cooperates to the extent that he feels comfortable with. Part of that cooperation is he gives us his phone. We ask for his phone. He gives us his phone. We forensically examine that phone, and that's how we found the communication between the Orange County deputy and his wife and him. It came through the examination of that phone. That is why he has now been charged with 5 felonies here in Seminole County. 2 of
5 felonies. Jeez, he really put his foot in that one.
those felonies deal with recording and releasing the audio file of the detective's conversation with him. 2 of those charges relate to unlawfully accessing a police database, and particularly the David system that released unique characteristics of the home address, the photograph and signatures of the lead investigator in this case. And then the last charge is the use of a 2-way communication device in the commission of these felonies. He has just gone through first appearance at 2 o'clock here in Seminole County today. I don't know any of the details about what happened during that first appearance hearing. We were working with our detectives.
So I'm going to leave it there. When we come back on the late show, we're going to do the second part of it because it's like another 20 minutes or so, and we don't have that much time left because we've got to wrap up in a few minutes. Very serious crimes, and he's basically written off his own career as a cop. He may not ever be, they may actually take his badge off him for it. The fact that he breached protocol so seriously, wow, what a silly, silly, silly person. What a, I mean, you just can't do stuff like that. Now he's a charged person. He just went through his first appearance, and those are very serious charges. Bizarre Life says, I wondered if he'd gotten out of the paddock, but I read it was hand raised, which I think contributed a lot. No, it was inside the paddock. The people had entered the paddock, and then they had to, unfortunately, shoot the ram to be able to recover the bodies, because when they tried to enter the paddock, it attacked the police officers as well, which they were unable to retrieve the 2 dead people without being attacked themselves. So they made the decision to euthanize the ram to safely get the victims and put them into a hearse or a coroner's van, unfortunately. Yeah, it's a very stupid thing to do. I mean, you basically just rid off your entire life to help out a kindergarten friend. Why? You should have just told them, nah, that's not what we do. Hey, I'd love to help you, but you have to go through official channels because that's the way we do things. I'll be your advocate. I will come with you. I can even meet you at the police station to help you, but I cannot access any information because that's not what we do. But hey, I can also ring the sheriff and just put in a good word and say, hey, they're friends of mine. Please look after them. They're a little nervous coming in, so just. And if you need any help, I'm here with you from this county or precinct or whatever. That's how you do it. You don't access information and pretend to be someone else and try and dig information out of their detectives, and really, really suspicious and very, very strange behavior from that person. There's good ways of doing that, and there's bad ways of doing it. You cannot overstep professional boundaries. I mean, they're there for a reason, and they're there to keep information secure and the chain of custody legit without getting the media as well involved. It's to stop information leaking out to the wrong people. Could be, people that are involved in an investigation. What if they get that information from because you leaked it? So yeah, it could ruin entire investigations. So hey guys, I'm gonna have to finish up for the night. I'll be back for the late show. Okay, we'll be back for the late show, and yeah, sorry we had to go early tonight. Hey, I love you all very much. Thank you to all my supporters of this channel. You guys are great. We'll be back for the late show in a couple of hours. And yeah, hey, thanks to all the people that subscribe or leave a comment or like this video. But also thank you to the people who actually are able to send in a donation or two to support the channel. It really helps out. And those people's names are in the video I'm about to play. Good night, everyone.